Hey folks, it's Ivan with Work Network and Computer Enthusiast Master Race. Today I got in store for you the delidding process of the 8700K. So I just wanted to go ahead and lay out some of the materials in front of me first, give a quick description of them, and then we'll get into it on there. As always though, everything will be linked in the description. But first off, of course, you're going to need your processor. In my case, this is the 8700K. This process will also work with any 1150 and 1151 sockets for Intel. You can do it with other ones as well too, but there's different delidding kits for those. But I'm not getting into too much of that. But anyways, 8700K of course. In this nice little fancy dancy bag is the delidding kit. I'll get that all opened up here shortly. You'll also need some thermal compound. I will be using a Thermal Grizzly's Conductonaut liquid metal compound. And to get it sealed back into place, I will be using some gasket maker ultra black advanced formula from a Permatex. So anyways, so I'll go ahead and get into each individual step on this, but stay tuned and enjoy. Alright folks, we're back. I got everything laid out before me, so I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. Parts that are in front of me is part of the Rocket Cool delidding kit. It's the main plates, the Allen key, as well as the 3 screws to keep everything secure into place. Now I'll get into the rest of the stuff later when we do the reloading process and getting some of the silicone glue scraped off. Anyways though, so I'm just going to go ahead and set that to the side real quick, and we're going to go ahead and start on this. Now, you may go ahead and notice there is a little triangle here on the kit itself. That is to indicate which direction the CPU needs to go on. Some people have noted that you will also line up the circle on the IHS with that one. However, there's a circle there, so that can be a little confusing to some. So basically, a good rule of thumb is line the triangle up, of course, with the PCB. For the IHS, the text will be facing and readable to the triangle's orientation. You'll see in just a moment. So let's go ahead and put the CPU on there real quick. And you just line it up, like I said, triangle to triangle. And as you can see, the text is facing towards the triangle way. So, I don't know, just quick little easy reference on that for it, instead of comparing circles and things like that. But since now I have that secured in place, for the other part, you just need to make sure that the metal bracket piece, well, not bracket, but I have no idea what you would call that part. But the little metal thingy that's going to break off the top piece of it, make sure that's all the way down. Unscrew it all the way down as well too for it. And you're going to line up the 3 holes for the screw mounts. So you got 1, 2, 3 there, and then 1, 2, 3 there. Okay. Alright, now that I have that secured in there, well, not secured yet, you're just going to go ahead and start threading the screws for each of these. I'm just going to get them started real quick. Does not really matter which orientation. And I would like to note as well too, there was no instructions with this delid kit. Of course, there's a lot of different tutorials, including mine, so really appreciate it if you watch mine for it on how to use it. But for somebody that has no clue about this, it may be a little intimidating for them. But I am just getting these all screwed down here real quick. Getting them nice and secure. And basically what that does is it just takes both these pieces and secures them together. You can see the screws are down there. But from this point forward, now you're just going to slowly start turning the screw right here. Okay. And it's snug on there with a hand tightening. This is where the Allen key goes. Now I recommend going slow, and you will notice a click once the IHS is off the CPU itself. So I'm going to stop talking that way so you all can possibly hear this click. Well, that was a very satisfying click. Alright. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop that back off. Just unscrewing this. By the way, this is the first time I've ever done this before. Never delided a processor. So I am learning and hoping to teach you all to learn from my mistakes. So, moment of truth. Let's see what it looks like under here. Whoa, that is a lot of silicone glue. Okay, so we got that done, so I'm going to go ahead and move that over to the side a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and just look at the IHS. And let's grab our little metal thingy here, or not metal thingy, it's wood. Anyway, so yeah, what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm just going to go ahead and try and scrape off some of this silicone glue. Get it down as much as possible. And this is just the IHS, so I'm not being too careful with it. I mean, still got to be careful with it, but it's not like I'm going to break any of the PCB or anything, because there is none on this. IHS stands for Integrated Heat Spreader, which basically between the die, the thermal compound, is this chunk of metal right here, and then there's your CPU cooler. See, look at that. That is part of the thermal compound. It's just all gunked up and dried on there, and some more right there. Let me clean the surface off a little bit. Get a little bit more alcohol. Okay, alright. I think that's about got it pretty good. Well, and I will be doing another cleaning before I place this on there as well too. Alright, so we got that cleaned off. Let's come over to here. And you can see there is not much of the thermal interface material on the die itself at all anymore. It was all baked on to the IHS. So we will be redoing or replacing that in a moment, but I'm just going to gently scrape off this silicone off of here. And got most of the silicone off that, but anyway, so yeah, it's good enough for the application, and then you just clean it off with the alcohol. And I also got all the thermal interface material off of the die as well too. It was just baked on there, and I barely moved it, and it all just peeled right off. So it gives you an idea how crappy their Intel's stock compound is. Anyways though, so now it's time to go ahead and get ready for the liquid metal portion. So I'm going to go ahead and get all the fun stuff out of the conducto nut from Thermal Grizzly. Alright, so let's move that up a little bit there. Okay, so this is everything you get with it. Get your liquid metal applicator. Get a little bit there, to a Q-tips, some alcohol pads, instructions, and a warning. Do not use with aluminum heat sinks. And that is another warning on that. This stuff will eat through aluminum and cause it to corrode, so definitely not something you want to do. So what we're going to go ahead and do first is we're going to do the IHS. Well, actually no, hold on. We are going to wait on that one, and we're going to go ahead and do the die itself first. So I'm going to go ahead and clear my workspace a little bit. Once again, I apologize if I do move off camera a little bit, but I will try to keep all of this on there as good as possible. But I'll just unscrew this. I'm going to use this needlepoint applicator. Careful, don't poke yourself. This thing is actually sharp. Probably will puncture your skin. I'm going to use my 93% instead. That dries up faster. Or evaporates faster. Okay, alright, good to go there. Now let's just add a little bit of liquid metal, make sure everything's good on camera. And you're just going to add it. Well folks, I screwed up. CPU's fine, still boots, no problem on there. However, the deliding process at some point has failed. The thermals are a lot higher than they should be. There is an improvement, but not by much. and I have a few ideas what caused this, and we're going to get into it to see exactly what did cause it. Because the thermal compound I'm using between the IHS and the CPU block is it's Noctua. It's good stuff. I've used it for a very long time, never had a single problem with it. So it's not that. There's plenty of thermal compound on there. Wouldn't have any issues with that. 90% sure the CPU cooler is doing a decent job. I mean, I can hear it. It's the Corsair H150i, Pro RGB, mumbo jumbo, 20 million different names when they can't just do something simple. Anyways, that's Corsair. I digress on that. I think it's either not enough liquid metal or too much gasket maker. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and pop it back open on camera, that way so everybody can see as soon as I see it. Well, of course, this is gonna be recorded, not live, but still, I'm not gonna edit that footage out. I want you all to see it and see where I went wrong. That way so other people can learn from my mistakes and not have to repeat them. So, I don't know, we'll figure it out. Like I said though, I failed, I admit my mistake. Let's learn how to resolve that mistake for me and to prevent it for you. Okay folks, we're back now. So I went and popped off the CPU cooler just to first off check, see how much if there was adequate thermal compound in there. And like I said though, the stuff I'm using is the Noctua NTH1. This is very good stuff, and I've used it for a very long time. I don't have any problems with it, so I know the thermal compound is a good source in that case. But no, there was adequate coverage. I mean, there was a great amount of coverage on the IHS and the cooler on that, so that wasn't the problem. So went and took everything apart, popped this off, and I think I figured out what caused the problem. So let's just go ahead and take this off here real quick. And let me go ahead and try to focus in this. And I apologize if the camera's not doing too good on this. But let's see there. You can see right there. I thought I had gotten a good amount of the gasket maker on there, but I think I got too much. So that's what caused it. And it's also like right there on that side as well too. So that may be what has caused the issue with the temperatures on this. Because like I said, I mean, there was an improvement, but there wasn't that much of an improvement. So I'm thinking that I may have gotten too much of the gasket maker on here, which is causing a poor contact with the IHS and the die. So we shall see on that. But anyway, so let's get back to popping this off. Should not take as near as much effort as it did last time. So let's take that off. Be gentle with it. All right, let's look at the IHS first. That's fairly decent amount. I think there actually is a little excess than I thought. I thought I didn't have enough on there. Let's pop it down there and let's take a look at the process. Oh yeah, that is way too much gasket maker. That's what caused that. That has to be because there's a decent amount of the liquid metal on there. I'm going to reapply it though. So yeah, if you're wondering because you didn't see that part in the video, why is there a red piece on my on the PCB? What that is, it's fingernail polish. I know that sounds weird to some, but that is actually there to protect those little I think it's either 4 or 3. It's 4 little dots there. And the reason for that is since it is so close to the die itself, if that liquid metal were to go over there and touch those, the liquid metal is conductive. It would fry the chip out, or at least short it, possibly completely frying the chip on there. So you got to be careful with that. You could use the gasket maker, or you could use fingernail polish. There's a variety of different things that you can do to go ahead and get those protected on there. Or if you just feel comfortable enough not doing it at all, then yeah, you should be fine on that. Like me, I didn't get much excess of the liquid metal on there, so it was fine on that case. But you can see there was a little excess there on the side. So, and I've seen other people that have gotten way too much, and it's actually touched those. Luckily, there was one video I watched, I can't remember who it was from, but it had touched the first one, but did not make contact with the second one. So he was lucky in that case. So yeah, I don't know. There's a variety of different things you can do to go ahead and clean those up. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get back to this and start the process all over again. So in my opinion, I think the coverage for the liquid metal was adequate. It's just too much of the gasket maker. So let's go ahead and start getting some of this gasket maker off here. That should be plenty for that. We shall see. Now for this, I'm just taking the black little Q-tip that came with it. I'm just rubbing it around. And spreading it all over the die. Okay, looks to be a good amount. Now we're going to go ahead and take the IHS. Just gently line it up and gently pick it back up. Yep. I'll fix what I smeared on that, but that's just to help me get an idea of where I need to place it on there. Alright, so that's a good amount there. We'll zoom in. Got a little bit of a pull there, not too bad, but that will even itself out and help it apply to the IHS. Like I've said before, you only just need a little bit of this stuff. Alright, so same process. Alright. Alright, let's set that to the side. And we'll compare. Once again, I apologize if I come off camera on anything. Just trying to make sure I get this on here good. Wipe off a little bit of that. Got a little excess there on the side. So I'm just taking a little bit of the gasket maker. I applied it on here. Here, let me do it on camera. I'm just taking a little bit there. Just a little tiny bit at the tip of this, and then I'm just going to rub it around. A little bit down there. I'll try to pick up. That should be good, and that should be plenty there. So I'm going to put my lid on my gasket maker so it doesn't spill everywhere. Accidentally hitting that. I love the smell of this stuff. Not really. It smells like burning rubber. I mean, it is a rubber type product, so anyways. All right, let's get that over there a bit. I'm going to clean up that IHS a little bit on the side. There's still a little bleed over on there. Not bleed over, but smudging from the liquid metal. All right, so we got that on there. Let's go ahead and make sure, triangle to triangle, that liquid metal's good. Let's put our little piece on here. All right, so this is just the relidding process for the sealer. You need to make sure that the holes are lined up properly. And I got triangle down the triangle there. And the way that the IHS worked is the text was readable when facing the triangle. And you just gently place it down, like so. All right, so I got that on there. Now we're going to take this little piece right here and apply it there. And you only use 2 of the screws for this case. Just thread that a little bit to get it on there. Make sure the other one gets lined up. And then tighten these 2 down. That will raise the top piece up a bit. making it flush. There are 2 different holes on here. I'm believing that is for another type of socket. I'm not entirely sure. Alright, make sure those are good and secure. And take the larger screw and then place it down there. And just keep tightening it. And it just hits the IHS. Don't get it too tight, just enough to keep it secure. And push that IHS down. Make sure it's getting good contact. Alright, there you go. So, now at this point in time, you just leave it there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and leave it on for a little bit. The first time I did it, I left it on for overnight. I'm not going to do it this time because I want to go ahead and make sure this is up and running good. So, we shall see how well it does. I'm going to give it at least an hour. And then I'll go ahead and get it tested back out again. So what we're going to go ahead and use again from the IHS to the cooler is the Noctua. And I'll go ahead and get some adequate coverage on that, and then I'm going to go ahead and test it back up. I'm going to go ahead and run the stock tests first to go ahead and test out the thermals based off of the stock temperatures and voltage. And then from there, then I'm going to go ahead and switch it up to my overclock. Off recording results just to see how it goes and everything. But for what I'm going to go ahead and record it and showing some graphs here shortly. So just stay tuned, keep an eye on that, and then we'll cut back over to the end results after all of this to see how it does. Well, folks, here's my overall temperatures. First off, like I indicated, these results were off of a Corsair HD 150i Pro RGB Mumbo Jumbo, all those fun stuff again. However, this cooler, it sucks. My H100i V2 does better than this one, so yeah. Anyways, but it cools, just not to the extent that I would like it to. Anyways, I digress with that. But basically, these are my results on here. As you can see, I have recorded ambient temperature for my room. It is colored in the dark green. IDA 64 Extreme, testing the stress testing CPU, FPU, and cache is indicated in yellow. Average gaming temperatures indicated in green, and average idles indicated in the light green. So these are the overall temps for it. Variety in terms of the stock pre-delid, stock, and overclock with the delid failure and the delid success. So overall, I am pretty happy with the results on there. I did have that failure, so I had to learn from that, got that fixed, realized it was the gasket maker, went beyond that. The temperatures with my success on that are still, they're up there. I mean, they're acceptable for now, but like I said, this cooler sucks. And I have a lot more wiggle room on my overclock, but I'm gonna wait until I do that when I'm actually on water and get everything properly cooled on that. I'm actually looking into a Kickstarter right now with a direct die CPU block, so maybe something later on down the road. We'll check see how all that is. So this processor is going to get its guts opened up again later on down the road, of course, but I just wanted to go ahead and share all these results with you. But like to thank you for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, give it a thumbs down. Leave some feedback in the comments. I really do appreciate that, whether it's good or bad. If you're a troll, I'll just delete it though. But anyways, no, I do appreciate the constructive feedback on these videos and things like that. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, as well as check out the media outlets as well too. Follow the different pages, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that fun stuff. And if you're not a member of Computer Enthusiast Master Race, we'd love to have you over there. I have a link in the description as always. And you can check out the individual pages we have with them as well too. All products will be mentioned in the description as well too. So yeah, just read the description. There's a ton of stuff in there. But once again, thank you for watching, and until next time, have a good one.